Jimmy Butler, he's a very interesting player to me.
He's like, oh shoot, I don't know where to go with the ball because I haven't been able to think.
It was a great series. Game 4 was one of the best games I've ever watched in my entire life. Now LeBron's a 4-time champion, and Anthony Davis gets his first.
It's unacceptable. So happy when the Astros lost because it would definitely be a 2020 thing.
Yeah, I was impressed by their game. Braden Point, Andre Palat, Nikita Kucherov. That was the best line in the playoffs, no doubt.
Stay undefeated when they face the mighty Cowboys with Garrett Gilbert.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared Sandler, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the Week. We had a trade, Austin. It's exciting, and probably going to be a shorter video, but there have been some smaller trades. The big trade, of course, was Pablo Lopez to the Twins. In return, Pablo Lopez and a few other prospects, which I missed. And Luis Arias is now a Marlin. Overall, I like it. For the Twins, they get more pitching. And now for the Marlins, you add a nice hitter, which they just haven't been able to consistently produce hitters in the big league lineups. How do you feel about this trade?
Yeah, for the Twins, they're a team that was desperate to get more pitching, and they needed to. Now, losing Arias is definitely not something that they are going to benefit from necessarily, but with getting more pitching, which is a big reason why they didn't make the playoffs for the past 2 years, they are improving that area, and they still have quality hitters like Buxton, like Correa, so that they should be able to survive. And then for the Marlins, I mean, they have a lot of all-stars from last year now because they had Garrett Cooper, their first baseman. They're going to move Arias, like you told me before the video started, to second base, and then put Jazz, who was an all-star last year as well, in center field. And then you have Joey Wendell at third, who in 2021 was an all-star. So they're kind of compiling a very interesting and solid roster right here in front of us.
Yeah, I was surprised that they were moving Chisholm to center field, but I get like they don't really have any good prospects with center fielder, and I don't think they like Chaz at shortstop for some reason. So I get why you have a Rise at second. I would have maybe kept him at first or tried another position for him. And if I was the Marlins and if I wanted to compete, I would kind of try to swing a trade with the Pirates. And get a center fielder in Brian Reynolds, but they might not want to part with their prospects. But I think that would be a good move, and then you could try Chisholm again at shortstop, or I'm not really sure, but that's what I was thinking. But we'll have to see how the experiment works because you told me before the video that he has never spent an inning in the outfielder, Chisholm.
In professional baseball, no. So that includes minors. He's never played outfield since before he was a professional player, and we don't even have stats for that stuff. So it's been a while, at least, if ever.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I like it. For the Twins, I'm a little worried about their hitting because I think Arias was just a constant hitter and not a lot of swing and miss. So they'll miss that, but I know they have a lot of young guys coming up, like Miranda, and I think there were some other prospects. So maybe if they can combine together and stabilize that lineup. That's my only concern. But I do like the pitching aspect for the Twins.
Yeah, I agree. And here's something that I don't think we mentioned. We may have mentioned in the last video, and if we did, we can just gloss over it real quick. But Nelson Cruz got signed to the Padres. I know it's old news, but I don't think we talked about it all that much. What do you?
Yeah, I don't think we talked about it that much. I can't remember. Didn't Carpenter also sign with the Padres?
Yeah, that's why I'm confused. Is that I'm like, okay, so Carpenter's going to be their DH, and that's nice. But now they're kind of in a situation where they have to DH Nelson Cruz because he has not played an inning of ball since 2020 or 2019 in the field. Now Carpenter is a capable fielder, but they kind of made a weird predicament here.
That is a wild stat. My guess would be maybe Carpenter at first, but that doesn't make sense because you have Hyesung Kim at
Kim would probably. I think Kim's gonna play second, probably.
Okay, he's gonna play. Okay, then Cronenworth would probably be
Play-
first.
Yeah,
Okay, and then
because
Bogart's-
Cronenworth has more movement around. Like he can play anything.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was just like, so then you couldn't really put Carpenter in first
He
base.
definitely.
So yeah.
Well, he played outfield last year with the Yankees, but he's not a capable. He's not an experienced fielder at the outfield position, or at least he has not done it in a very long time. Before last year, his last time was like in 2013 with the Cardinals, but at least he has more experience than Jazz Chisholm. So I mean, he could
Yeah,
play
I
outfield.
would assume he's left field, and right fielder is Soto. Center, it's not Grisham.
It's Grisham.
Oh, it's Grisham. Okay.
But here's the issue: we haven't even mentioned Tatis yet, and I guess you would put Tatis in left unless they're planning on trading him. And if they trade him, you have to trade him for pitching at that point because then you're still running into an issue of where are you playing Carpenter and Cruz because Cruz did not get signed to a minor league contract or a spring training invite. Nope, he got signed to a major league deal. So he has to be on the major league roster unless you're going to DFA him. And why did you just sign him if you're going to DFA him?
Yeah, so I believe I've said it a couple of times. Like, I do think Tatis is traded. I don't. It just seems like it isn't meshing, and I think he goes to the Dodgers or another team that wants a shortstop. Maybe the Giants do it. I don't know. But I would say Dodgers make a swing.
Yeah, I would understand that if
Because,
the Dodgers did make a move.
Did you see that trade? It's not Miguel. The Dodgers traded for a shortstop from the Marlins. I don't think it was Rojas.
Definitely was not Rojas. I would have heard about it if it was Rojas.
Oh, it was Miguel Rojas.
It was?
Yeah, Marlins do.
Who is their short? Are they moving Groshans up? Are they moving up Groshans?
I'm not sure.
Are they calling up Groshans?
Okay, I'm looking at projected starting lineup. So this one still has Jazz Chisholm at shortstop, but that doesn't work. Yeah, so I guess who were you saying?
Jordan Groshans.
I would maybe. I think he's listed on the roster, even though he's a third baseman. Or Edwards.
He's a shortstop prospect.
Oh, they got Amaya from the Dodgers, and he's listed at shortstop.
I don't think he's
Oh,
ready,
we're forgetting Gene Segura.
Oh, we are forgetting Segura. That's right. But Segura wasn't a shortstop with the Phillies, was he?
Well, yeah, no, but he was second baseman. He's listed as third baseman here on this roster.
What about Wendell? They're trading Wendell then?
Wendell's listed as second baseman.
No, we literally just mentioned that Luis Arias is playing second, and Wendell didn't play second last year because Jazz Chisholm played second.
So, do you think Wendell goes to shortstop?
I would think it would have to be Segura because Segura is listed as a shortstop, second baseman, and right fielder, even though he did play second base with the Phillies and primarily that was his spot. But it also says he could play right field. So now he hasn't in the majors played right field yet, but in the minors he did. So maybe, but I don't think that's all that likely. I think they move Segura to shortstop. I think Segura is a shortstop for this year, but they do call up Groshans, and he's like a platoon guy for this year as a prospect. And I just read an article saying about Cruz that Carpenter is like the left-handed DH probably to go against righties, and Cruz is probably the right-handed DH to go against lefties. But it's really hard to get on a consistent hitting streak if you're only facing one. And if I remember correctly, last year Matt Carpenter hit better against lefties than he did against righties because Carpenter was one of the best hitters while he was actually healthy. I know he struggled in the playoffs, but that was more about the fact that it's hard to rush back. But, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, and my thing with like the Miguel Rojas to the Dodgers is it's just not. I guess I'm gonna say cliche, but like a sexy name. Like I think with LA and the Dodgers, they're usually filled with like sexy names.
Yeah, so there's no way. I would be absolutely and utterly shocked if they trade for Tatis now.
Okay, all right. But
Because
yeah,
you can only have so many players that can play short. Because you have Chris Taylor, you have now Miguel Rojas, and I'm sure they have a prospect.
But yeah, so that trade happened, and then speaking of shortstops, again, Mondesi got traded to the Red Sox because Trevor Story was had almost like Tommy John. It was something with his UCL, so they needed a shortstop because Bogarts left. So they made a trade with the Royals, and I'm excited because now we get to see. Oh, why am I forgetting his name? They had him at third base, but he's a shortstop. Um, uh, Man, he's from Texas. Do you know who I'm talking about? Oh,
From
Bobby
Texas?
Witt. Yeah, Bobby
Oh,
Witt.
oh. Yes, we've seen Bobby Witt play last year. He started a lot of games, but now we get to see him continue to grow. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see how those prospects turn out. But Red Sox still doesn't look good. Just seems like they're doing like they're just like figuring it out now. Like, oh, we need this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty slow. We'll see. We're still a couple weeks out from season starting, getting really into it, but a couple signings happened. Jeff McNeil signed with the Mets, which kind of saves them money in the future, not really in the short term. It's 4 years, $50 million, and like you were saying, it's a pretty nice contract. I'll let you talk more about that.
Yeah, 12.5 AAV it's a good deal for one of the better contact hitters in the league, and I definitely think they're saving money doing that. And then the other signing that we were talking about before is Peter Fairbanks signing an extension as well with the Rays.
Yes, and that one seems relatively cheap as well. I know he's dealt with some injuries, but when he's healthy, he's fantastic.
Yeah, it says right here 3 years worth up to 24.6. So I'm assuming that's also with incentives or other stuff. It's 12 million, but up to 24, so it could be doubled essentially. With it probably is like, oh, if you're an all-star, if you're in reliever of the year contention, if you hit all these marks, then yes. But the Rays aren't necessarily known for spending an inordinate amount of money on any player, so 3 years, 12 million isn't much anyway.
Yeah, I think they're starting to do some deals. Like I know they deal with Wander Franco last year, keeping some of the young guys around, which I like. And I think that's pretty much it. Nothing else has really happened yet. Do you think there's another trade on the horizon?
There's obviously another trade, but are you saying starter level trade?
Almost, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, do you think there's another big name traded like Gleyber Torres? Do the Yankees make a trade? Does Brian Reynolds actually get traded?
Not before spring training.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I think we're kind of now in the dog days of the break.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got. Anything else?
Nope, I'm excited. I'm kind of narrowing down how my predictions are going to go, but the trades we've seen, some of the new signings, definitely are influencing it.
I gotta get working on that too, and that's just a future little tease for predictions. Once again, let us know what you think, and thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.